From the back of the aircraft, flight attendant Betty Ong calls an American Airlines operator on the ground.
Hello, my name is Betty Ong. I'm number 3 in the back. The cockpit's not answering. Somebody stabbed in business class. And I think there's mace that we can't breathe. I don't know. I think we're getting hijacked.
Which flight are you on?
I'm number 3 on flight 11.
Okay, you're the flight attendant?
Yes. And the cockpit is not answering their phone.
American 11 has been hijacked by 5 men, and they have stormed their way into the cockpit.
Our number 1 got stabbed. Our first class galley flight attendant and our purser has been stabbed. And we can't get a good cockpit. The door won't open.
I think Betty sounds very much in control. I just can't imagine what it would have been like to be inside the aircraft, not knowing what was going to happen.
Can anybody get up to the cockpit? I think the guys are up there. They might have found their way up there or something. Nobody can call the cockpit. We can't even get inside.
The supervisor keeps Betty on the line and calls an emergency number to report the hijack.
American Airlines emergency line, please state your emergency.
Hey, this is Nitty at American Airlines calling. I am monitoring a call in which Flight 11, the flight attendant is advising our reps that the pilot, everyone's been stabbed.
Flight 11?
Yep. They can't get into the cockpit is what I'm hearing.
Okay, now
I've got
when you...
the flight attendant on the line with one of our agents.
Okay.
Okay, I'm still on with security, okay, Betty? You're doing a great job. Just stay calm, okay?
Okay, we're contacting the flight crew now. We're also contacting ATC.
Okay.
Okay.
They are in the cockpit with the pilot.
Come as you are, as you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as I know me. Take your time, hurry up, choice is yours, don't be late. Take a rest, as a friend, as I know memory. Come as you are, as you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as I know me. Take your time, hurry up, choice is yours, don't be late. Take a rest, as a friend, as I know memory. Come, dust and mud, soaked in bleach, as I want you to be, as a trend, as a friend, as I know memory. When I swear that I don't have a gun, no, I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun.
Okay, cut.
When I swear that don't
Wow,
have a
Neil
gun.
Armstrong. Hey, wait a minute.
No,
You're supposed to be on the moon. I just saw it on TV.
Oh, there's a
don't
tape delay
have a gun.
of solar winds.
No, I don't have a gun. No, I don't have a gun.
Well, well, well. We are indeed, hopefully, back again. Now, technical issue galore here at That's Life, but not as we know it, getting set up tonight. But we got there. Now, hopefully, someone can let me know in the chat if the audio is good to go, because tonight we're going to go back to that famous day, or would it be infamous day of, 9/11, September 2001. We're going to listen to the On the Day broadcast by Bill Cooper. The day that Bill was meant to be taken out as well. But I guess the question is, when did it get called off? Was it on the day or was it before? That I'd like to know. There must be a way that I can find out. So hopefully I can find out. Rich is in the hood and we're good to go. Carmel is at work. She wishes she was here, right? She sends her love, which is great. And the audio is good to go. What I'm hoping is that it works for the screen share. So I thought I was going to upload it basically as a video, but I thought I would do it live. It is a bit late, to be fair, but I thought I would do it live. So maybe there could be discussion, possibly in between, likely at the end. It's quite interesting. I have heard it before, as I need to get my charger. That is so typical. The best laid plans. Oh man, one of these days we're gonna get it right. Where is the bloody? There we go. We're good to go, are we? It would help if I switched it on, right? Oh man, how did I even get to the age that I'm at? I don't know. Anyway, good evening, good morning, rather, because that's what it is here in little old Elgin in the northeast of Bonnie, Scotland. Quite a beautiful night. It was, at least, at one point when I was out with the dog, but I don't know. I mean, what are they doing to the weather, right? What have they done? What are they trying to create with their manipulation? The constant spraying. Wow. I mean, where do you even start? Honestly, it is unreal. We've got Carmel. She's taking time out. She's taking an early lunch, extended lunch, to jump in. It's all right because we're going to listen. It's going to be, I am going to speak at the end for a bit, but it's mostly Bill Cooper for about an hour on the day. Quite interesting as well. We're going to listen to it from the website SoundCloud. Do we know of that? Some of you might. We've got a few people in. I don't expect many, but you can catch up whenever it may be, right? Hopefully everyone's doing all right. Rich and Carmel, my two favourite people at the moment. So it's a pleasure to see you, long-term subscribers who get on really well. I think a lot of people here in the kind of community that we've got, they get on great. And I think that is It's fantastic, right? Because a lot of people, yeah, you can kind of feel a bit lonely sometimes. No one gets you, and I can understand it sometimes. I'm not saying that's the case for Carmel or Rich or anyone in particular, but I know what it can be like. People just the sheep, at least, or or the sheeple, as Bill would say. I mean, they don't get it, right? It can be hard to even have a conversation without thinking, Jesus, they are so fast asleep, you would not believe it. And hopefully, speaking of sleep, hopefully I don't fall asleep tonight. It'll just go, we'll be going right through the night. 24-hour live stream, me snoring. Well, 1 hour of Bill Cooper, and then me snoring. And Rich and Carmel arguing in the chat. Oh man, the joys, right? Now, oh, but let me see actually. It would help if I was screen sharing, right? Can I remember how to do it? Hopefully I can. I've been uploading some of the deleted videos. Am I going to get deleted again here? Probably. I mean, I can't write it out. It likely will happen, to be honest. But I've been uploading a few videos. I can't upload them all that I put up, but I'm gonna upload selected videos, and then, hey, we'll take it from there, right? So, can I get it going? Or have I forgotten how to screen share? Oh, man. Yeah, we're cooking by gas now. So, if we go to SoundCloud, I've not got anything on SoundCloud. To rewind or fast forward, you've got to make an account. So I had to make one, but maybe it's an idea. There's quite a lot of content on this platform, to be honest. I'm unsure what it's like in terms of censorship. That might be a different story. I'm unsure if this is going to get me a strike. Look out, right? Incoming strike. I don't think it will, to be honest. It might be on YouTube already. There's absolutely hundreds of Bill Cooper channels on YouTube, BitChute, you name it, Odyssey. They're all over the place, and clearly on SoundCloud as well. Now, this the Stay Awake Media Podcast, it's called. And as you can see, let me see actually if yeah, we're cooking by gas. We're going. It's working. We've achieved. Oh man. So this guy, let me see actually. So we're going back to on the day Bill Cooper took the air. He took to the air in a radio sense. For Alan Wiener. Now, I'd imagine this was later in the day, right? It wouldn't have been early in the day. Surely not. It would have been after the majority of events had taken place. So this broadcast was recorded on the day of the 9/11 attacks. Bill stays on the air for over 9 hours. Wow. Don't worry, we've got an hour. So, I mean, 9 hours. Jesus. How did he manage that? That's insane, right? A 9-hour radio broadcast. Eh? Wow. That is crazy, that. He must have been full of adrenaline and just turned into a machine, a broadcasting machine, right? basically. So it says here they had planned to raid Cooper on the day of the attack, which we covered. He was due to be taken down on September the 11th. And this guy says, or this person says, but the raid was called off due to the fact that Bill was asked to take the airwaves by Alan Weiner. Or is it Weiner? Now, I don't know. I find it a bit hard to believe that it would have been cancelled because Bill got called to take to the air by Alan. I'm sure when they took him out, eventually it was at 12 o'clock at night or just past midnight. And I reckon that would have been the plan all along. No matter what date, it would have been a late night raid to make sure that they got it done correct the way they wanted and took him out. I could be wrong, but I think it would. What I really need to find out is when, if we can find out, when did it get called off? I reckon it would have been before the day of 9/11. They would have said, I don't know, a few days before they would have said, look, it's called off until further notice. And of course, we all know what happened on the day, or do we? That's the question, or do we, right? I always remember there's a clip of a guy he's being interviewed on the very day, and he says that all the fire engines were waiting down the street. They were just waiting there for something to happen. And the guy was like, I was thinking, what is it a conspiracy or something? And I thought, there, on the very, very day, that guy, he nailed it on the very day. And I think Bill in this broadcast pretty much nailed most of it as well, to be honest. And honestly, I remember that guy's interview clear as day. And what he was talking about was the fire engines, the drill that was taking place, the exercise for for practically the same event, a terrorist attack. So it looked like they were all waiting basically just down the road for an incident to happen. But of course it was a drill, an exercise. And how often is it? Every time these exercises take place before a orchestrated event that is either the same or similar. How many times has that happened now? I mean, what we should be looking out for really is these drills and exercises in the future. And that might give us a bit of a insight, if you like, as to what might be coming down the line from the Hidden Hand. I think they done one on the monkeypox malarkey. I think it was actually last year or the year before. And from what I was reading, there was an exercise regarding this monkeypox, and it was a big outbreak. It was another pandemic all over. And seemingly in the exercise, it was a terrorist attack. That's what they claimed in the exercise. I think in May of 2022, which is about around the time it did happen, or it came about. And I mean, I've kind of got to watch what I'm saying with anything like that. Otherwise, they'll hit me straight away with a strike. I'm probably going to get one already, but basically, I mean, if people can't see it for what it is by now, they fucking never will. The pandemic was a huge eye opener. It forced the agenda's hand big time. If you could not see it then, oh man. But 9/11, that for me, unbelievably, the biggest. If anybody looked into 9/11 and came out the other end saying that, yeah, it was Bin Laden, he done it, surely they've bumped their head on the way, right? I mean, come on, it's as clear as day. I don't think you could get much clearer. There's a few things that are clearly up for debate in terms of wasn't there any aeroplanes? The amount of people who died is quite an interesting one. Some people claim that basically no one did, which is quite interesting as well. I'm unsure about that one, but who am I to say, right? I certainly wasn't there. I was only a young lad at the time. Coming back from school was when I heard about it. Apart from that, when it was happening, I was at school, daydreaming, not paying attention, basically. But then when I got back, I seen the effects it was having on a lot of people, adults, the shock, the trauma. And I think still today, we see it. People still feel it. To be honest, I mean, it sounds a bit grim, but I was only a young lad. It didn't bother me. When I seen it on the news, it just looked like a movie, which is rather fitting, to be honest. I mean, a terrible sort of atrocity, no matter what you think about anything in regards to how many people died, how many people didn't. Was there a plane? Wasn't there a plane? Was it a bomb? Was it this? The effects of it across the world, unbelievable. And then, of course, the stripping away of freedoms day by day, year after year, never to be returned either. All these laws that they take in, the UK, America, anywhere really, they never rescind them. I mean, you've kind of got to wonder where it's all going, right? What are we going to have left? You might hear my dog snoring. He's had a good walk tonight. Now he's dreaming, and he's snoring away under the table, Mr. Beans. Right, so let's see if I can stop yapping and we can get into it. I'll be about, so I might jump in for a bit of discussion. What have I done? Oh yeah, I zoomed in. So what I'll do is I'll mute me. I'm not going to try and interrupt a lot because that can be quite annoying, right? Like if you're watching a movie and someone keeps interrupting. So we'll see how it goes. I'll try not to, but we can discuss in the comments. Like I said, I will be about. It does go for about an hour. I am hoping to go the full hour and not fall asleep, but I am going to be here listening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute me and then we're going to start, right? So stand by because what have I done? Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is William Cooper, and Alan Weiner has asked me to take the microphone on this probably worst day in the history of the entire world. For what we're witnessing now today is most probably the herald of at least the redefinition of freedom, and most probably its death. Can you imagine the absolute, well, I guess you can, because you're probably as shocked as the rest of the world. And I can assure you that the entire world is affected by this. There are probably at least over 5,000 people dead. At least, minimum. It could be as high as 10 or 20,000 or even more. You see, 50,000 people work in the World Trade Center buildings, and both of them first had aircraft, large commercial type aircraft, crash into them intentionally, and then both of the towers have come down, collapsed upon themselves. The Pentagon, where tens of thousands of people work also, another commercial type aircraft has crashed into the Pentagon. Another one, and it's only a guess, was maybe trying to reach Camp David, has crashed before it reached its target. There is speculation that there may be other airplanes in the air headed toward targets elsewhere in the country. All airports, for the first time in the history of this nation, are closed. All government buildings in Washington, D.C., including the White House, have been evacuated. All government officials, members of Congress, members of the United States Senate, White House staff have gone to their underground hard sites. The military has been deployed in Washington, D.C. Several state governors have called up the National Guard. You can expect at any time a declaration of martial law nationwide. And when that happens, there could be terrible consequences. Governments, when they're attacked like this, lash out at whomever they perceive to be their political enemies. You can expect that if anyone, anywhere is foolish enough to take credit for this attack, our military forces will be deployed to wipe them off the face of this earth. Now, folks, I'm going to remind you of what happened right after the Waco incident and then the Oklahoma City bombing. The press and the government, without any reason whatsoever, attacked American patriots and members of the militia nationwide. For that reason, I must tell you that all known patriot leaders in this country, even though patriots have had nothing whatsoever to do with this, and members of the militia need to go underground immediately. Take steps to protect yourselves from arrest, persecution, armed attack, whatever may come out of this. It is absolutely necessary that you do this. This is not some weird thing that's going on here. This is a major terrorist attack upon the entire nation, upon the entire country, folks. And so we must take steps to protect ourselves. Good evening, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello?
Bill?
Yes, you're on the air.
It's Robin. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine. Do you know what's happening, Robin?
Oh, sure.
Well, we're on the air with a worldwide broadcast right now.
Oh, you are?
You're on the air.
Should I call you later?
Well, I'm going to be on the air maybe all day and all night. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Are you on the air right now?
Yes, you're on the air. I've said it 3 times.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay. I understand. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Is anything,
Yes, they're talking about lots of bomb threats here in Atlanta.
has anything happened in Atlanta?
No, they're telling people to take their kids out of school, and they've been bomb threats, and they closed the IBM building, evacuated it, and closed CNN, and that's all I know so far.
Okay, just remember that every wacko in the world is going to take this opportunity to try and cause chaos, in addition to the real threats that
You think they're going to declare martial law everywhere?
I expect that to happen at any moment.
Really?
Yes.
Should we get out of the city now?
I've been warning you for years. That's the worst place to be if there's a declaration of martial law.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'll call you later.
Okay, Robin.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care of yourself.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye. Folks, please don't call in unless I open the phone. Right now, we're going to go to the feed from CNN and listen to that for a few moments and just keep you up to date. But before we do that, listen very carefully, folks, to me. You've got to listen very carefully to me. You must not do anything at all that can be misinterpreted by anybody that you're a part of any of this. I don't care who you are. Take steps to protect yourselves and your loved ones, particularly if you are known patriot leaders or members of any militia. You saw what happened after the Oklahoma City bombing. No militia members, no patriots in this country were involved in any way with what happened there or with what happened in Waco. But the media and the government attacked militia members and American patriots viciously. And you can expect that that may be one of the outcomes of what has happened today. Also, would ask that all of you please say prayers for all of the people who have died or been injured or wounded in this terrible attack upon our country, and for their families. The casualties are going to run into many thousands, ladies and gentlemen. And there's going to be some terrible repercussions from this, although we don't know exactly what those repercussions are going to be based upon past experience. We can expect some kind of attack upon American patriots and militia members. And we've been expecting this for many years. This is not something that has just come right out of the blue. So make sure that you do that. You're on the air. Hello.
Hey, Bill, this is Doyle.
Hi, Doyle.
Hey, I just was watching where Hoover Dam and State Route 93 were closed down completely.
Okay.
Now, I just want to let you all know.
Okay.
It was tentative earlier, and now they've done it officially, Arizona Department of Transportation.
Okay, we can expect that all potential targets, military targets of any kind, are going to be blocked off so that nobody's going to be able to get near them, and that includes major dams like Hoover Dam and all the dams in the country are probably going to be isolated. Military installations are probably going to be closed to all civilian traffic, and you can expect probably roadblocks on the major highways.
Yes, yeah, and they did finally verify. This is on the Arizona News. They just broke into the National that it is State Route 93 is closed officially, and all of Hoover Dam and all that.
Okay, thanks, Doyle.
All righty.
Appreciate it.
All righty. Bye.
Folks, if you have reports from your area that are not appearing on the news of what's happening, call 520-333-4578. Now, here's something that you've absolutely got to pay attention to. I don't want to hear any rumors. I don't want to hear anything that's unsubstantiated I don't want to hear anything that's passed through 2 or 3 people. If you absolutely know of something that's happening that the people in this country and the world need to know, call me and report it. Don't report rumors. Don't report anything that comes over your fax machine. Don't report anything that you hear from Alex Jones or any of his ilk. The only thing that I want to hear about are facts that you can either document or prove, or that you yourself are an eyewitness to, or that may be reported on your local media that is not reported on the national media. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a major attack not only upon the United States of America, but upon freedom. The outcome of this will redefine the word, and I suspect that freedom will no longer mean what it used to mean after this day. It will probably be redefined as freedom is whatever the law allows you to do. Rights are going to disappear, ladies and gentlemen. You see, I'm going to tell you this. When I was in the United States Air Force, this could not have happened. We had fighter planes on alert all over this country that would intercept and shoot down, if necessary, any aircraft that was flying in an airspace where it was not supposed to be, or that was flying into this country unidentified. That was taken care of through NORAD, North American Air Defense Command, out of Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado. Apparently, we no longer have that fighter air protection in this country. And one of the reasons why might have been so that something like this could happen. This is another step toward world totalitarian socialist government. And the outcome, the offshoot, I can guarantee you, is going to be legislation and laws coupled with martial law, and we can expect martial law nationwide to be declared sometime today. If it doesn't happen, it will sure shock the hell out of me. And it may already be in effect for certain areas of the country without public announcement. For instance, troops, United States Army units have been deployed in Washington, D.C.
To repeat for emphasis, John Roberts, that the president will be on videotape from Barksdale Air Force Base, certified with their...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you for certain, due to my experience on the command staff of the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Pacific Fleet during my service in the United States Navy, I can tell you now with the announcement that the border between the United States and Mexico and the United States and Canada have been closed. All aircraft across the nation have been grounded. All airports have been closed. A regiment of troops of the United States Army has been deployed in Washington, D.C. All government buildings have been closed. All government officials are now officially either ensconced in their underground protected hard site headquarters and command centers, or are on the way to those sites. And because of that, I can assure you with no hesitation whatsoever that martial law has already been declared nationwide in secret. No public announcement has been made, but that's the only way that these things can happen and are happening, is if the president has in fact issued a declaration of martial law nationwide for reasons that I don't know. This has not been announced to the public, but anybody who would be surprised at hearing that there is a state of national martial law in place right now nationwide, anybody that would be surprised at that, I'd have to say, isn't playing with a full deck of cards. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you this absolutely for sure. There will be serious repercussions, not just here, but worldwide. You can expect military action to be taken against the suspected or known source of the people who carried this out imminently, wherever that source may be. I can tell you that if it's suspected that anybody in this country had anything to do with it, there may be strikes launched against known Patriot leaders and American militia units, even though I can assure you, because I am in contact with these people all over this country, that no American Patriot or militia unit would ever, in their wildest dreams, attack the Pentagon, Camp David, or the World Trade Center towers. If the militia were to attack anyone, it would have been the United Nations building. None of these other targets would even occur to any American patriot or any militia as a target in any attempt to restore constitutional Republican government in this country. So, and I have no idea who carried this out, but I know exactly why these attacks were launched. They need excuses, ladies and gentlemen, not just here, but worldwide, to continue to pass laws to strip people of their rights and of their freedoms and to disarm people in order to bring the world under the umbrella of a world totalitarian socialist government. As you can see, this indicates that that if terrorists want to strike somewhere, there's not much you can do to stop it. Now, there was a lot of things that we could have done to stop these particular attacks. And years ago, the mechanism was in place so that these things could not have happened. And you can be assured of that. Anybody who served in the United States Air Force with the North American Air Defense Command, either in the headquarters in Cheyenne Mountain or with the many fighter units that were stationed at air bases all across this country that had alert aircraft sitting on the runway ready to take off at a moment's notice should anybody try anything like this. It's incredible that the government knew that all of these aircraft had been hijacked. They knew this. They knew it. And they are able to monitor on radar where these aircraft are flying. Just the sheer number of aircraft that were all hijacked at the same time should have indicated to the government that something terrible was going to happen, and they should have had fighters in the air to intercept and shoot these planes down. Why they didn't is a question that's going to have to be asked, and somebody is going to have to answer those questions. Anyone who had been on the inside who knew that so many planes had been hijacked all at the same time and didn't try to do anything about it or didn't understand that these planes might have been hijacked in order to fly into American targets as terrorist acts should never have been in any position in our government of any kind of official capacity whatsoever, because that should have been an obvious indication that these things were imminent. And by imminent, I mean as soon as all those planes were hijacked at once, they should have known something like this was going to happen. We'll take your phone calls, 520-333-4578 from across the country. If you have something to report that is not being reported on the major news, we need to hear about it. We don't want to hear about rumor. We don't want to hear anything that's unsubstantiated. If something's going on in your local area that is not being broadcast on the national news, we need to hear about that. There are rumors flying all over the country. Right here in this valley, the Round Valley in Arizona, Eager and Springerville, some people are in a full panic. We have reports of people calling their homes and telling their spouses to take their children out of school because the school's going to be bombed. Those reports are false. There is no indication whatsoever, if you're listening in the Round Valley, that anyone in this valley is in any danger from anyone at all. There is no threat to the schools. There is no threat to any government buildings here. In fact, there is no threat at all in this valley. So if you're listening and you're afraid that those things are going to happen here, the thing that you better fear is if troops show up to enforce martial law. There's no reason why they should come to this valley, but it's not out of the question. 520-333-4578 is the number. Once again, it is obvious. It is obvious that a declaration of martial law has been declared nationwide. All airports have been shut down. All airplanes are grounded. The borders have been closed between the United States and Mexico and the United States and Canada. And troops have been deployed in Washington, D.C. The government has gone underground. Good evening. You're on the, well, good morning. You're on the air.
Oh, hello?
Hello.
Okay, all right, you got me. Okay. I'm calling from New York. I'm in New York. I'm in Queens.
Uh-huh.
All right. I guess you give. All right. Should I give a name or give a name?
Well, you don't need to give a name. You can if you want to.
All right. I have a shortwave radio. Also, you sound very faded here. I was just going to say, I don't know what it is, but I'm tuned to BCQ, and normally at night you can sound clear as a bell, and now you sound very faded.
In the daytime, shortwave reception
because of the sun?
Is much less hearable because of the propagation caused by the sun.
The sun.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay. Well, I'm tuning up and down the AM dial. All I keep hearing is the same thing. The same sensationalism that they do, that they've been doing. What the media typically does. Making this thing some kind of. And I'm not sure whether it's the government or not. And I'm wondering if it probably is with some of the points you're making. And also immediately when I tune the radio on, they sound like they knew that the plane was hijacked. They knew everything that was happening, either almost like as if before it happened.
Well, they knew everything that was happening for sure, and they knew instantly as soon as those planes had been hijacked. Absolutely. Whether or not, we don't know who is behind this, but I can tell you that most of the terrorist organizations in the world were created by some intelligence organization.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I'm here. I'm getting a problem here with this radio. Okay.
Yeah, well, just leave your radio off.
No, yes. Okay.
Okay, you have anything else to report?
I didn't see it, so I can't report it because I wasn't actually there at the time.
Is there anything on the local news that has not been reported on the national news?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a television. I could get one, but I just didn't bother. They have so much crap on TV that I could buy one right now, but I just don't even bother with TV. So I usually stick to radio, to tell you the truth. I don't use television at all.
Okay.
I haven't looked at TV in about 5 years.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right. Thanks for the good work. Bye.
Folks, I can tell you that I was watching television when the towers collapsed. First, I believe it was the North Tower, or excuse me, the South Tower, and then the North Tower collapsed. I believe that's the order in which they collapsed. I could be mistaken. There were so many emergency personnel and people who had rushed to try to help the people who were trapped inside of those towers, and of course, who were trying to evacuate the towers, that when they came down, I can assure you that an awful lot of emergency personnel, firemen, policemen, paramedics, were caught by those falling buildings. And so the number of people who initially began rescue attempts and emergency firefighting and maintaining order in that area have been injured or killed. There are at least minimum 50,000 people who worked in those two towers. You can reasonably expect many thousands of deaths and many more thousands of people injured, maimed, or wounded. This is not just an attack upon the United States. It's an attack upon freedom around the world. This is an attack upon humanity, as a matter of fact. And because of it, freedom will be redefined. You saw what happened after Waco. You saw what happened after the Oklahoma City bombing. You've seen the draconian legislation, the Anti-Terrorist Act, the unconstitutional things that are going on all over the country because of exactly what you're seeing today, and you can expect it to become a lot worse. Freedom will be redefined. Rights are going to disappear. This is not a guess. This is exactly what's going to come out of this. Good evening. You're on the air, or I should say, good morning. Hello.
Oh, sorry to call you back. Just one very important thing. Do you still have your newspaper available? Your Kaji or
no?
Is that, no.
No.
There's no newspaper to subscribe to.
No. It's on
okay. Any tapes more for sale?
It's on the internet. WilliamCooper.com.
All right. What if you don't have a computer? Can you order through mail
No. It's all on the internet.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
520-333-4578 is the number. Please don't call unless you have something to report, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason I'm not going back to the reports on C-SPAN or anything else is because these people are whipping up a hysteria. They really are. Here's what's happened so far, and this is all that has happened. 2 commercial-sized jet aircraft have crashed into each of the twin towers of the World Trade Center buildings. Both of those towers have collapsed in upon themselves. There are many, many thousands of people who are dead, wounded, or maimed. Not only who were in the building, but many of the rescue workers and firemen and police officers and just plain citizens who had rushed into that area to try to help people have been killed or wounded also because of the collapse of the buildings. You have to understand when something that large comes down, it affects a large area around it, and the destruction is probably quite and probably won't for some time. Another airplane, a commercial-sized jetliner, has crashed into the Pentagon. The Pentagon has been evacuated. The damage that jet did was so extensive that even initially the tower of flames and smoke were hundreds of yards wide and went a couple of thousand feet up into the air. So the damage and destruction of the Pentagon is extensive. There was a report, and it's been confirmed, that another jet commercial type plane has crashed into the ground short of what appears to be, what might have been its target, Camp David. And that's an indication that this attack may have come from the Middle East, because a lot of people over there were very angry at the Camp David Accords that tried to make peace between Israel and the Palestinians. The thing that's so strange about it is that it was the Israelis who had the most anger about the Camp David Accords, not the Palestinians. The Palestinians that have been shown on the major networks and cable news stations are jubilant. I can't understand how anyone could be happy about killing so many thousands and thousands of people. But the Palestinians are demonstrating a tremendous celebration and happiness over this, which does not bode well for them. I can tell you that right now. That could cause a backlash from the American people against Palestinians everywhere. And folks, please don't do that, because Palestinians who live in this country, who may have come from that area of the world, do not necessarily agree with the politics that's going on in the Middle East. So, don't strike out at innocent people, please. Just, be cool, be calm. Don't let the major media whip you up into a hysteria. Just understand that there's going to be repercussions here. If you're a known patriot leader or member of a militia, you need to go underground for your own protection, simply because of what has happened in the past. The media and the government lashes out at whoever it considers to be its enemy at times like this, and we already know that they're scared to death of American patriots and militia members, even though none of these people have had anything to do with any kind of terrorist activity, and wouldn't. They're American patriots. They love this country. We do want to restore a constitutional Republican government, But what you've seen this morning is not the way to do it. Period. Absolutely is not the way to do it. No American patriot, no American militia participated in any of the events that have happened today. There are rumors flying everywhere. Don't listen to rumors. Don't fly off the deep end. Don't run out and jump off the pier. Don't listen to people like Alex Jones, whom I can tell you already is going to be one of these fly off the deep end nuts. Martial law, I can tell you right now, is in effect nationwide. Both borders between Mexico and Canada are closed. All airports are closed. All planes are grounded. Seaports are closed now. Several governors have called up the National Guard. The state of Maryland is under martial law. A regiment of United States Army troops has been deployed in Washington, D.C. And that's all we know right now. The government has closed down. All government buildings in Washington, D.C. have been evacuated. The government has been moved to its hard site underground locations. The president will not be going to the White House. I don't care what they tell you on the news. He will be going to his underground hard site command post, wherever that may be, Mount Weather or elsewhere. There are many of them that, you know, there's not just one, there's many of them that he could go to. And, you know, I hate to say this, but I predicted that all of these things were going to happen years ago, warned you what the outcome would be. And folks, this is not about the Middle East. It's not about Osama bin Laden terrorist. It's about world totalitarian socialist government. You're going to see some draconian laws passed to try to prevent this from happening in the future. At least that's going to be the excuse. And we'll just have to wait and see what the government is going to implement and put into place. Please don't panic. Don't spread rumors. Don't tell lies. Don't participate in the insanity that's already going on. There's lots of wackos and nuts across the country calling in bomb threats and doing a number of very, very stupid things. And I can assure you there are people tracing them down. And if you're one of them, you're going to find yourself behind bars real quick. So don't do it. If you are doing it, stop it now. Just stop it. Don't spread rumors like have been going around in the Round Valley here. People have been spreading a rumor that somebody's going to blow up the school. That is not true. That is not true. And if you hear anybody saying that, tell them to shut their mouth. Just tell them to shut up and go away. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the worst days in the history of the entire world, not just the United States. Not just the United States. Terrorism has a goal. The goal is to strip freedom from the population of the world. You can bet on it. That will be the outcome. Freedom will be redefined or disappear altogether. And we have known for many years that these kinds of things have been planned, have been in the works. We didn't know the time period that they would happen. If you read my book, this is exactly the scenario that I described. I named the city, New York. Unbelievable. It's twice now they've hit the World Trade Center buildings. Somebody should have known. Somebody should have taken the precautions necessary to prevent these kinds of things from happening. We've all known, it's been discussed. People have ventured speculation that somebody could fly an airplane into the White House or into the Pentagon or into a major target somewhere here in the United States of America. So it's not as if nobody suspected that anything like this could happen. It's one of the first things that anyone would think of. Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, Bill. Good afternoon. I'm calling from New Jersey, watching the local news here. Earlier this morning, about 10 minutes after it happened, one of the news stations received a phone call from a person inside one of the buildings, actually calling for help to help him get out of there. He reported that the whole core inside of the building was blown out, and all the elevator shafts were blown out. It was the first time you heard about it, and that was the last time. The news said, well, let's see if we can get somebody up there to help him. So that would do something, I guess, with the structural integrity of the building, whether it was, you said that the windows blew out from the inside, all the papers rushed from the inside of the building all the way out to all the windows that got blown out. So that was on Channel 7 News. I have that on videotape, so when I get a chance, I'll get a copy of that out to you.
So somebody phoned from inside the building.
Yes, he was more concerned about getting help. He's not really like reporting what's going on. He said, listen, I'm stuck. The doors are jammed. I can't get out. The whole core of the building is gone. All I know is that he was on the 86th floor, I believe.
Well, here's one of the strangest things. You see, it wasn't just those planes flying into those buildings. It couldn't be. Because those planes hit almost at the top of the building. They were in the top third or 1/4 of those towers and could not have injured the structural integrity of the building on the bottom. Also, the only place that fire was occurring was at that area and above.
That's what caused me suspicion as to why the whole building would collapse.
Something blew up on the major structural buildings down at the bottom of those buildings that brought them down, I can assure you of that.
That's why I suspected that the whole core of the building was blown out.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember
what happened to the World Trade Center buildings today, towers today, is exactly what happened in Oklahoma City. It wasn't that truck parked out on the street that brought that building down.
Right.
You can't bring down a building like that by flying a plane into the top quarter of it, or blowing up a truck full of fertilizer in the street. You have to have charges placed upon the main structural building, main structural members of the building in order to bring something like that down. Remember, these are steel reinforced concrete buildings.
Correct.
This is strong. They're called hard targets in military jargon. And the only way to affect a hard target is with placed charges on the main structural members.
Correct. Well, I mean, recollect years back when that bomber hit the Empire State Building. All it did was take out a couple of floors. That didn't come down. And I think aviation fuel is a little more volatile than jet fuel. So, and that building stayed erect.
Yep.
So that's all I can say. That's all I know. That's different than what the national media has been talking about. But I thought you might want to know that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Bill.
520-333-4578. If you have something to report that is happening that is not appearing on the major network news, or something has happened that I have not reported here, please call in your report to 520-333-4578 so we can get it on the air. Make sure that you know what you're talking about. No rumors, no hysteria, and none of those things. Okay, folks? Once again, to recap, both World Trade Center towers have come down after large commercial jet aircraft have crashed into the top, appeared to me the top quarter of the two buildings, not the top third, but the top quarter of both buildings. But the buildings came down, folks. I mean, collapsed upon themselves all the way to the ground. A jet plane crashing into the top quarter of those buildings can't do that. It's absolutely impossible. Somebody had to have placed charges upon the main structural members that support the buildings somewhere at the ground level in order to bring those buildings down like they fell, just like the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. That fertilizer truck parked on the street did not bring that building down. It was supported by major columns of steel reinforced concrete, which are hard targets. I know all about hard targets. I fought in a war. I went to booby trap school. The Navy taught me how to bring down hard targets, and they told me the only way that it could be done, and that's with shaped charges placed upon the main structural members. Airplanes flying into the top of those buildings did not bring those buildings down, and if you believe they did, you know, there's air between your ears, and there shouldn't be. There should be some brain material in there. If you don't believe me, talk to explosives experts, talk to demolition people who bring down buildings routinely, and they'll tell you exactly how hard it is to do it. It is very difficult to bring down a building that is built with as a hard target, as steel reinforced concrete, and those buildings were. Ladies and gentlemen, all I can tell you is this is a major attack upon the United States of America, but even more than that, it's a major attack upon freedom worldwide, and you're going to see some serious repercussions happen from all of the terrible things that have occurred this morning. It's one of the worst days in human history. Martial law exists right now. Whether they have stated it publicly or not, it is in effect right now. They have closed all airports, all seaports. They've grounded all aircraft. They have closed the border between the United States and Mexico and the United States and Canada. You can expect the government to, at any time, make a public or formal declaration of martial law, or they may decide to keep it secret for a while. They've deployed a regiment of troops in Washington, D.C. Several governors have called up the National Guard. Martial law exists in the state of Maryland. The National Guard is being deployed there. All government buildings in Washington, D.C. and in some states have been evacuated. The government of the United States of America is in its hard target command centers and underground installations. And the ones who aren't there yet are on the way to those places. The president is on his way to his hard underground command center. He will not go to the White House. And you can expect some serious things to happen, both in this country and probably abroad. I expect that the military is already preparing to strike somewhere at a nation or nations that have harbored terrorists. I don't believe that they're going to get Osama bin Laden. The CIA created Osama bin Laden, in case you weren't aware of that. And the Bush family has been doing business with the bin Laden family for many years. And I'm not making that up. That's a fact. They have intertwining investments in their business dealings. I think I talked about a little bit of it on a broadcast not too long ago. All of you who thought that George Bush was going to save this country, boy, were you mistaken. Gosh. Big mistake. Let's go see what's happening in the major venue and see if we can catch up if anything new has happened. I don't think anything new has happened, or somebody would have called. If you have something to report that I have not reported, that you know is fact, or that has been reported in your local news area that has not appeared on the national media, then I want you to call 520-333-4578 and report it here. No rumor. Don't repeat what comes in over your fax machine. I don't want to hear anything that comes out of the mouth of anybody like Alex Jones or his ilk. And be very careful. Don't allow yourself to be stirred up into a state of hysteria or anything like that. Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, I'm glad I got a shortwave. I just wanted to report the fact that all the primaries in New York State have been canceled. The primaries for governor and so forth, or elections.
Almost everything has been canceled nationwide, including sports games, it's literally everything.
Right, and so it's affecting every aspect of our lives, and even our our ability to get out and vote.
Yeah.
So thanks for your truthful comments and not allowing people to get on there and just make statements that can't be proven.
Well, that's unfortunately that's happening all over the place. The major media is just absolutely going nuts. They're whipping the country up into a state of hysteria. People like Alex Jones are going to. I just hate to think of what those people are going to do.
Yeah, and I listened to the shortwave a lot, and they were attacking you Friday or Saturday night on The Right Perspective. I like that show, but they were attacking you because you said that we hadn't landed on the moon or something. I mean,
we haven't.
People.
Let me put it this way. I've always said I don't know if we landed on the moon or not. We just didn't do it in the Apollo space program. All of the photographs and all the videotape that they've shown us is total fake. It's all fake. Anybody with any education in photography or studio lighting can prove it in 10 seconds flat with no problems. And that's just one of the things that's wrong with all of that stuff.
Well, my point on that is the fact that what few people are that are trying to do things by just facts like what you're trying to do, if we all go around shooting each other in the foot, it just takes away the credibility of all of us.
Well, be careful. There's some people who need to be shot in the foot. There are other people out there pretending to be patriots, pretending to be disseminating the truth, that are actually working for the people who want to destroy constitutional Republican government and put the world under socialism. And, I don't know, maybe those guys in The Right Perspective are part of that.
Well, all I can say is
I can tell you that Alex Jones for sure is, and so's Lieutenant Colonel James Bobo Grits.
Well, Jones will be foaming at the mouth over this, and it'll all be a bunch of emotional tirade. But anyways, keep up the good work.
Okay. And don't, be careful who you listen to. I've already heard reports of people saying that we're going to be attacked by the communist Chinese and by the Russians because of this. This is all a diversion. And it's a lie. It is a lie. We are not going to be attacked by communist China or by Russia at all. Period. At least not today. So don't listen to people who are spreading those rumors. The rumors are flying like crazy everywhere. And they're all, they're lies. They're lies. What I've told you on this broadcast is what has happened. And so far, that is all that has happened. So don't go off the deep end. Don't go crazy. There are some things that we can expect reasonably because of what has happened in the past. When the Oklahoma City Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building was brought down, and all those people were killed without any reason whatsoever. They attacked American patriots and members of the militia all across this country, and for several years, we were the brunt of vicious, terrible lies and attacks from all quarters. Fundamentalist religious groups were also attacked. You can expect the same thing to happen again. You can expect people in their anger and in their hurt and in their emotion to lash out at people in their communities who may be from the Middle East. These things you can expect to happen because we know that they have happened in the past. It happened when the first attack upon the World Trade Center building. It happened after the Oklahoma City bombing. Fundamentalist religious groups were attacked across this nation when the government went in and murdered all of those people in Waco, Texas, even though those people had never hurt anybody in their entire history. We're not, I mean, it was just insane. So you can expect some of those things to happen again. And you need to take steps to protect yourself if you belong to one of the groups that may be attacked because of this, either by the press or by the government. If you're a known patriot leader or member of the militia, because martial law has been declared, you may be targeted to be arrested and detained. Take steps to protect yourselves. Remember, once they get rid of American patriots and militia members, if that, in fact, is going to be a part of this, there will be nobody to fight for freedom in this country. So you cannot allow it to happen to you. You must protect yourselves. So please do it now. 520-333-4578 is the number if you've got anything to call in and report that you know is happening. We don't want to hear rumor. Don't want to hear anything repeated that somebody like some fax network might have sent to you on your fax machine. I don't want to hear anything that you read that somebody sent you an email, period, at all. I only want to hear facts. And facts are either what you witness or what you can say is printed in a newspaper or announced over the air, although those are not necessarily facts. If they're reported, they have a greater chance of being true than anything else that you're going to hear. If something's being reported in your local area that has not been reported on the major news networks or cable news networks, please call me at 520-333-4578 so that we can get it on the air. If you know something personally, you're a witness that has happened in your area, we want to know about that also. Otherwise, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to add to the confusion and the hysteria and the terrible things that are already going on. So please, folks, be careful what you say, what you pass on. Make sure that you don't pass on rumors. Don't get hysterical. Don't repeat, some of the stuff that you're going to be hearing on television and on the radio that is obviously just designed to whip people up into maybe doing some very bad things. So let's go see what's going on.
United States an idea, a good enough idea about who might be responsible for this to take military action. Jamie, you've been covering the Pentagon for many years now. Did you ever think you'd be getting briefings in the military Quick Mart next door? You know, we thought at times about what would happen if there were an attack on the Pentagon, because the Pentagon would seem to be a prime target. We always anticipated, of course, that the attack would be on the other side, where the offices of the Defense Secretary and all the high-ranking brass is. Instead, it was on this side of the building. And you run through your mind various scenarios about how it might be to cover it, but I never expected the enormity of this story. This is just, it's incomprehensible. There have been, every time I stop to actually think about what's happened and the loss of life involved and
folks, you just heard confirmation of what I've been telling you. Just in case you think I'm some kind of a wacko or nut, I'm not. I've been studying this scenario for years. When I was in the Office of Naval Intelligence and Naval Security and Intelligence, when I was on the staff of the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Pacific Fleet, I saw the whole plan for bringing this all about. I knew what was going to happen years ago. I warned you. I told you exactly what was going to happen. I wrote about it in my book. You just heard one of the reporters on C-SPAN echo what I've been telling you. He said there's going to be a tremendous reduction in freedom because of what has happened to this. And that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm not some wacko nut, folks. I've done more research than you can even think of even wanting to do on what's happening in this country and around the world and what's coming as a result of it. I know what I'm talking about. And not only do I know it, but I have documented over the years. I've given you all the documentation, told you exactly where to go. None of this is hidden. They haven't even tried to hide any of it. It's all the truth. Now they're trying to make you believe that 2 airplanes flew into the top of the World Trade Center tower buildings, and that caused the buildings to collapse all the way to the ground. And that's not true. The only way those buildings could be brought down is if there were shaped charges placed upon the main structural buildings at ground level in order to bring those towers down to the ground. And that's exactly what happened. Also, just as they started to come down, there were huge explosions that echoed all across Manhattan. And, explosions, folks, are explosions. So, what we're going to see come out of this is exactly what you just heard that reporter say.
Certainly are not. Clearly, we need to have improved intelligence to deal with this situation. This is about the first line of defense against terrorism. It's a very difficult nut for us to crack. In this instance, for instance, basic intelligence is done by the FBI because it's inside the United States. But on the other hand, we almost assume that the perpetrators are from overseas and therefore the CIA is involved. But getting the right leads and getting the right information is a very difficult proposition. I think we also have to enlist the support of our friends overseas, the French, the British, the Germans, and so on, so that we have a clearinghouse whereby little pieces of intelligence that come in from one place or another all get funneled into the same central point. And some piece that you think is not important, perhaps, becomes very important when you add it to 2 or 3 other pieces that you've got.
Admiral, I mean, we're talking about 4 passenger jets that are hijacked. 1 crashes in western Pennsylvania, 1 goes into the Pentagon, 2 go into the World Trade Center. Shouldn't there have been an alarm someplace? I mean, these obviously the pilots of these American and United jets didn't fly these jets into the buildings. These were trained pilots who hijacked these airliners.
No question about it. This is a very sophisticated operation, and one would hope that there would be some clues, and that our intelligence would pick them up. I will say again, though, that it's a very tough...
Now, let me tell you, folks, that's Admiral Stansfield Turner. If, when I was in the Office of Naval Intelligence, I was able to put my hands on and read Operation Majority, which was the plan to bring about world government after terrorist attacks exactly like this, strip the freedoms from the American people, then I know full well that Admiral Stansfield Turner also saw and read those documents and knew exactly what was going to happen before it did. He said it's a very sophisticated operation, and of course it is. Exactly like the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, there had to be placed shaped charges on the main reinforced concrete structural members of the world.
So, there we go. That was the hour. I never fell asleep, so that's good, right? I was here. I was about listening. And yeah, interesting stuff. I actually want to go back quickly to a wee bit at the end there, if I can. Are we still going? We're still going. Let me see. Right at the end, that guy, the official, I think it was a government official.
Careful. What you
piece that you think is not...
1 crashes in western Pennsylvania, 1 goes into the Pentagon.
One would hope that there would be some clues.
I mean, we're talking about 4 passenger jets.
Now, I mean, to me, this sounds so scripted in what he said, and you'll know
that
what
are
I mean.
Hijacked. 1 crashes in western Pennsylvania, 1 goes into the Pentagon, 2 go into the World Trade Center. Shouldn't there have been an alarm someplace? I mean, these obviously the pilots of these American and United jets didn't fly these jets into the buildings. These were trained pilots who hijacked these airliners.
No question about it. This is a very sophisticated operation.
Yeah, no question about it. Don't ask any questions. It was the terrorists who done it. The pilots never done it. They wouldn't do that. Of course. It was the terrorists. They done it. No question about it. Right? I mean, I don't know. I doubt you would say that. But it sounded very scripted to me. We'll play it again.
And one would hope that there would be some clues. And that important when you add it to 2 or 3 other pieces that you've got.
Admiral, I mean, we're talking about 4 passenger jets that are hijacked. One crashes in Western Pennsylvania, one goes into the Pentagon, 2 go into the World Trade Center. Shouldn't there have been an alarm someplace? I mean, these obviously the pilots of these American and United jets didn't fly these jets into the buildings. These were trained pilots who hijacked these airliners.
I'm confused as to how that's obvious. I mean, I don't think you would say that either. I doubt there's no, I would imagine there's no question. It's scripted on the news media side of it. But the official, I'd imagine he is scripted word for word in what to say.
No question about it. This is a very sophisticated operation, and one would hope that there would be some clues, and that our intelligence would pick them up.
Yeah, like the passport. Like these passports that are indestructible. What are they made out of? The indestructible. One would hope there would be clues. Yeah. Funny that. We found the guy's passport. What, the terrorist? Yeah. What, that blew up? Yeah. His passport? Yeah. We found it. Hallelujah, right? Yeah. I remember some of you might have heard at the beginning the call between, I think it was a flight attendant and the police. She seemingly phoned either the police or air control, and she said that she thinks that we're being hijacked. She thinks. In this plane, number 11, it was hijacked seemingly by 11 men who stormed the cockpit. And this air hostess thinks that they're being hijacked as she calmly talks on the phone, saying everyone's being stabbed. I guess it would be rather confusing, but you'd think you'd have the just nailed of what's going down if 5 people stormed a cockpit and you worked on the plane at the time. There would be no I think about it. You would be saying, look, we're being effing hijacked. Quick, do something about it, right? What would you do? I guess some people do say, well, they should have shot it down. You would reckon even that would be the case. They would have shot them down. But that didn't happen. What is America in terms of military? The biggest, the greatest in the world? But most of the planes, from what we've seen, they got stood down, which is, it's insane, really. You wouldn't, how anyone, like I said at the start, how anyone can look into this and then come out and say, well, yeah, it was Bin Laden, right? Definitely. No doubt about it. From a cave in Afghanistan with a friend who had a hook for a hand. Captain Hook and Bin Laden. Of course, yeah. Let's go with that, right? So, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up tonight. This morning, even. 5 to 2, I'm going to wrap it up, get sorted, quickly sort myself out, and then go to my bed, right? A new day is upon us. And yeah, a day at a time, we push on, dig deep. What a world that we're in, but hey, we're still here. We're still fighting. We're still going, right? We're never going to give up. So we continue each day, right? No matter what. But yeah, it can be tough from time to time. So we've got to stay strong, keep our guard up, right? Like I say. Thank you to everyone who joined tonight, this morning, wherever you may be, evening in this crazy world that we're in. I'm going to be back again. Let me think. I think it might be Friday, but we'll see. Time will tell. It's better if I don't say, because it won't happen. That won't be what happens. So let me quickly go to the chat. I'm losing the place here. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Who have we got? Rich, still with us. Good man. Good to see Rich engaging. Truth Seeker. Yeah, good stuff. They know we stuff. Yeah, and me. What is that? I can't remember what that is. You'll have to let me know. Good to have MCG in the hood. They should have used the big pie knives from the galley, or cried pineapple to scare the hijackers. Yeah. I mean, you would think even 5 people, you could, a whole plane. What is that? A big passenger jet? Surely in a do or die situation, you're gonna man up, right? And fight against it. What have you got to lose? What would you have to lose? I reckon I would be the first to say, fucking not on my watch, no chance. If it's going down with a bang, right? Because you simply would not accept. Imagine if you were on there with family or your kids or a loved one, you would flip big time, knowing that this likely is it. The plane was being hijacked. So, I mean, if that wasn't the case, what did happen to these planes? Where did these people go? It's all very, very strange indeed, especially the phone calls. I think we're going to get into the phone calls a bit more in the future, without a doubt. So, incoming strike, right? Taken out, deleted again, most likely. So good to see Rich back in the hood. MCG, thanks for joining tonight. I think we had Carmel in the hood at one point. Skyvin from work, taking time out, right? Great to have you. If I missed you, I do apologise, but I try not to miss anyone. So yeah, likely Thursday night or Friday night, I'll be back again, right? So in the meantime, keep your guard up, stay strong, right? Enjoy yourself. Hey, life is too short. I can assure you of that. That is one thing that I definitely do know. So yeah, try your best to live as happy as you can in an insane world. How do you do that? Yeah, that's the good question, the $1 million question. But I guess as an individual, you've kind of got to find the right balance, right? Only you are going to know where that is. So you've got to try. You can always start tomorrow as a new day and begin again. Who else did we have there? MC Kill, Mr. Kill. One, there you go. Yeah, great stuff. You, all the best to you as well, and everyone else tonight. So let me see. I messed up at the beginning. We had so many technical issues. Unreal, but it is that's life, but not as we know it. So to be expected, right? Anyway, I'm off to my bed now. Until the next time, do not comply. And that is about it. Bye-bye.
Loving you isn't the right thing to do. How can I
ever change things that I feel. If I could, baby, I'd give you my world. How can I, when you won't take it from me? You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way, go your own way. And tell me why everything turned around. Packing up, shacking up, so you wanna do. If I could, baby, I'd give you my world. Open up, everything's waiting for you. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day, another lonely day. You can go your own way, go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way. You can call it